Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're talking about AMD again. We actually, you know what? Maybe I should do this. Since we're talking about AMD, we should go red. We should change it over to red. I got the 7800 XT back in the PC right now. Gonna be checking out Like a Dragon Gadian because FSR3 is now available in that. And FSR3 finally went full mainstream. The developers can access that now and start start bringing that to the games. I'm really hoping for a rapid integration for FSR3 for the AMD cards amongst a lot of games. Hoping to see Cyberpunk 2077 get it pretty quickly, and many others. I do think that it's beneficial for these developers to go back and implement this technology into their games, especially games as far back as like 2020 or whatever. I do, because these games are going to be a lot of people. I at least for myself, I buy a lot of digital games now. I've went over to PC. I've been buying a lot more games there. I've been investing in a lot more games on PC, on Steam, and Ubisoft Plus and EA Play app and all of this stuff. So I would really like to see a pretty quick integration of FSR3 in some of these games. Maybe catch back up with what Nvidia is doing, because I actually do believe after having the 4070 now and playing around with DLSS 3 and 3.5 and the frame generation hardware, the frame generation technology over on the Nvidia side, I can honestly tell you that as far as I'm concerned and as far as I felt and seen with my own eyes, I'm on the same screen with the exact same games that yeah, FSR3 is a lot better than a lot of people are going to give it credit for, and I do personally believe that it is close. It is extremely close. Now, if you've heard me talk about the Nvidia games, when I enabled DLSS and frame generation and stuff, I do notice not a significant drop in overall visual quality, but enough to make me like take a double look and be like, oh yeah, dude, that is definitely not as good looking as without it. And I mean, like, maybe some people are going to be able to see this, maybe some people aren't. I mean, it's all up to you. If you're playing at 4K, you're probably not going to notice it as much as you would on like a 1440p monitor. You can just tell that like the image quality goes from like dense to really sharp and crisp when you enable DLSS, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, obviously, I used to like that look when Xbox One X was out. I was like, yeah, man, that looks so crisp and so clean. And then when I would play on the PS4 Pro and I would see the visual quality of that with the checkerboard rendering, I'd be like, man, that looks fuzzy, and there's a lot of whatever in the background, and over on the Xbox side it would look crisp and clean, and I was just like, gosh dang, man. But it's funny how things have changed to where I prefer the honestly, I think this all has to do with the 1440p monitor, because that's where I game most of the time now, whether it's PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, or PC. I'm pretty much on a 1440p monitor. I just feel like that gives me the best overall performance versus visual quality in my gaming, and I think a lot of people would really see the benefit of having 1440p, so that you can still get your high frame rate as well as still have all your visual candy, and that's a great thing. I do like Nvidia's 40 series. I do like their frame generation. I do like DLSS. Don't get me wrong. It does look pretty dang good, and I've been sitting here, for the last, what has it been, about 20 days since I bought the 7800 XT, and then a few days after that. I think it's about 10 days with the 4070 now, since I've integrated that into the channel and started making content for that and looking at things and trying to get a feel for both of these technologies. Like I said, though, I absolutely prefer the user experience when it comes to AMD. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nvidia is not terrible, but it does take a more nuanced approach to setting everything up, and you're going to have to look for things, you're going to have to set things up. I do feel like the AMD process is more streamlined. Yes, you are leaving some features on the table going with AMD, where Nvidia, has like has like a foothold on stuff. But when it comes to like visual quality and features, like frame generation and all of that, I think AMD is pretty dang good. Like I said before, I feel like the AMD experience is a lot more well-rounded. Whereas over on the Nvidia side, I feel like you've got, I feel like it kind of skews one way. I feel like every time they bring out a new technology, you kind of lose a little bit on the back end. And I would have liked to have seen the 40 series kind of remain higher with like the bus rate of these GPUs. I would have liked to see them, add more VRAM than they did allocate to these cards, because I feel like in the long run, that is going to be a significant impact to the longevity of the 40 series cards. And I hate to say it, but it just feels like you're being duped into upgrading more frequently on Nvidia than you are on AMD, and that's something that you're going to have to decide for yourself what matters more to you. If you're fine with upgrading every generation, cool, man, buy whatever you want. But I do feel like for those of you that are on a budget, that don't have the disposable income to just throw away all the time, and just want like a peace of mind for the most part, just like longevity, peace of mind and longevity, I do think that AMD offers the better overall experience, that you're not going to necessarily feel like, oh man, I got to go upgrade or I got to do this, because that 6800 XT is still doing pretty dang good from some of the stuff that I've seen versus what my 7800 XT is doing. I would say it's pretty close. And if we really like dial this back a little bit and look at this, the performance uptick that I get from going from the 7800 XT to the 7900 XT, I'm going to say the 7800 XT is probably the better value. For $500, you're going to get pretty dang close performance out of that. You're definitely going to get better performance out of 4K out of the 7900 XT, but when it comes to 1440p, man, they're within striking distance most of the time. Like you're close enough to where that percentage is probably not going to matter when you don't have a frame counter on and you're just playing the game. So yeah, this is pretty interesting, man. Like I'm excited to see FSR3 finally becoming more mainstream. Like I said, I would like to see rapid integration of this software into our games so that we can start enjoying them to the fullest. Now, a lot of people, there's a lot of people out there that are still purists that are like, no, man, I want native resolution and all of that stuff. Well, here's the thing: as these games get more graphically demanding, those technologies, those tools are there to help you better appreciate and better max out your overall visual experience, and still be able to maintain a higher frame rate so that you're getting the most out of your gaming experience. So I mean, I was pretty, it took me a little while, to come on board and start to appreciate these features. But once I actually got a taste of FSR3 and AMD's Fluid Motion Frames preview beta, I turned around pretty quickly. Had I had access to a 40 series card and been able to utilize these technologies sooner, these tools sooner, I think it would have been different. I think they are both good. I think they're both solid, and I think they both deliver on an experience that is well worth having those tools in your toolbox to be able to use. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll have this video of Like a Dragon Gaiden up in a little while. I'll be running that on the 7800 XT, just so that you know. So, all right, guys, we'll see you later. I hate COVID, man. I got it again, so I'm home from work, and this sucks, man. We'll see you guys later.